Let's do record. How are you, Jen, today?
I'm very well on this. Is it raining? Is it sunny? Is it winter? Is it spring kind of day? Yeah.
Yeah, well here it's absolutely miserable and peeing it down with rain. So
Yeah.
I suspect it's not too dissimilar from you. So tell everybody who you are. Where have you been and where'd you come from?
Hi, my name's Jen. I live in Farnham. Awesome. Didn't know we were doing a game show. Do I get a prize?
Yes.
Do I get a speedboat? Which would be quite handy in this weather, eh?
Yeah.
So I'm Jen. I'm an intuitive coach, healer, and spiritual mentor to business owners. I live in Farnham, and I love the sunshine. I'm not a lover of the winter and the autumn, I'm afraid. So I'm a summer baby.
Me too, definitely. And so I brought you on today because I was very, very excited to hear you talk about your journey of writing your book. And I remember when you were first talking to me about all things woo, and you were kind of developing an understanding. I remember you telling me a story about flies in your kitchen. I wondered if you wanted to repeat that story.
Yeah, it was a great story. So yeah, however many years ago that was, 2017 maybe, somewhere around there. And I'd kind of been exploring my own sort of personal spiritual practice, and I wasn't using it in my work then yet. Very much still in my spiritual closet, if you like. And I was working with a spiritual healer herself, and she said to me, oh gosh, that's really interesting that you communicate with animals. I was like, do I? What? And almost that, classical reaction of, don't be so ridiculous. And yeah, a few weeks after that conversation with her, I was sat right here, working away at my desk, and it was in the summer, so I'd got all the doors and the windows open, and this fly came in, and the fly, just the sound of it, you're just like, I'm trying to concentrate here. And so I was like, look, just leave. And this fly then landed on my keyboard on my laptop, so I had to stop work. And I was just very aware then that this fly was it was like almost posing like look at me, and connected in with this fly, who just said, all we want is for you to see us. We are the cleaners of the world. Look how beautiful we are. We're not pests. And I was at the time thinking, oh my God, I'm just, what is, I think I might be spending too much time on my own, kind of thing. Anyway, it then flew off, and it was getting to that stage of it just driving me potty, and I properly shouted at it, right, get out. And it came and then started bouncing off my face like this, which is quite unusual really for a fly to do that. So I just took a deep breath, and I, in the end, just said, all right, if I will show you the way out. And so I mentally gave it a visual thread to follow to leave the house, and it did. Oh, okay, maybe there's something in this. So then I tried it. I can't remember whether it was a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, another fly in the house, but the doors and windows weren't open. So I tried it again in that very kind of loving energy of, welcome, thanks for visiting. If you go and wait by the door, and showed it a mental picture of the door, I'll let you out. And it did. So that's how I get rid of flies now in my house. I just go and ask them to wait somewhere, and then I'll go and let them out.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it's kind of led you onto your journey then to a long time later, but to start to write your book, which is relevant to that. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so way down the path and the journey of just my spiritual practice, which clearly very out of the closet with that now, and bring it into my work, and the animal communication, which I don't work with it in terms of it being part of my business, more a sort of personal interest, I suppose, which led me to working with the Global White Lion Trust, who I work very closely with. And I was doing a long weekend workshop with them in 2020, July 2020. And actually it was, I did do one in July 2020, but the one where I was shown the book was last year, 2021. So July 2021. And one of the white lions that I was communicating with, called Asagaya, and his name in literal translation is Protector of the Earth, invited me to write a book. And essentially his guidance was, you've been practicing, you've been in training, you didn't know you were, you've been in training for the last couple of years to do this, because I also journal every day, and I receive guidance every day. So, and I've been doing that for years. So yeah, so a white lion invited me to write, share my stories from nature. And yeah, I kind of sat on it really, because it felt so big. There was a lot of, and this is why you should do it, until this year.
Brilliant. And so you were also talking about how you got a vision for that book and saw somebody reading that book. And what was that?
Yeah, thank you. It was a very powerful vision. So that was working with the White Lions this year in July, where I was reminded of my invitation to write a book. And I had been writing stories from nature, but I think I'd got that classic imposter syndrome coming through of, why me? Why am I doing this? And I very much felt that I would say, my audience isn't big enough. This is huge and it needs to get out there. I'm not the right person. It needs to be somebody bigger, better, brighter than me, kind of thing. And so I again connected with Asagaya, and another white lion, and was reminded, now is the time. You are the right person because you can. And that was essentially it. It was like that's why you should do it, because you can. Yeah. And then it was the weirdest thing. So I'm highly clairvoyant, so I'm very visual, and a lot of my communication with nature is through images and pictures and feelings, and then I'm able to interpret them into words and the written language. So whilst I was receiving a story that I would, through pictures and images, I was also being shown a man reading the book. So it was quite the kind of double image. And yeah, the man was, and I was so in it, I understand why I was shown it, because it was such a shocking image, and helped me connect to the reason why this book is so important to get out there. So this man was wearing a grey suit, sat on a train, going to a city job. My assumption was that he was on a train going to London, but that's just because of where I live. It could be any man. And you know what, Amanda, it could have been me. I could have been that person wearing a suit on a train going to a job in London. So that masculine energy, and yeah, he was contemplating taking his own life. He felt the sense, the heaviness I could feel, and his feeling of being trapped, stuck in a job that he hated and not seeing a way out, and felt that his only way out was to take his own life, which you can imagine was quite an upsetting image to feel, to feel that heaviness. And then I could see him crying as he was reading the book, and I realized it was Nature's Wisdom, the book that I'm writing. And then thankfully shown that he got off the train, stepped off the train, walked into sunshine, and chose a different path as a result of reading the book. I don't know what it was he read in it, but read something that inspired him to find another way, and he chose to live. So in that moment, this is why I have to write this book, and this is why I have to get out there and talk about it.
Absolutely, and just spread the word. And I'm massively in favor of promoting and supporting this, because I really felt compelled and drawn to your energy when you were talking about it, and you're very passionately talking about how this could help somebody, even if it's just one person. It's a beautiful thing, and it won't just be one person, it will be many people. So I've been trying to definitely promote, because I gather you're going on a writer's course. This weekend?
It's a week tomorrow.
A week. Okay.
So I'm going to the Writers' Inspirational Place of Edinburgh on next Friday for the weekend. And I'm going to the Hay House Publishing Writers' Workshop. Exciting. Oh my God. So excited. Because, Hay House have been, and all their authors and all that work have been such a huge influence for me and helped me so much in my work and my personal development journey. And I've, done a lot of training through them as well. So, and for me, they are the main publisher, the leading publisher in the personal development and spiritual arena. So, naturally drawn and wanted to go. And I'll add in, I'm not sure if I shared this before actually, so I'll share with your audience. So I saw the invitation from Hay House, the marketing email come through, and I looked at the ticket price and totted up the cost of the train and the accommodation. Everything was like, oh, I just can't do it right now. Oh, and my ego came forward and said, it's not meant to be, maybe next year. And then I heard my ego say that, and I was like, wait a minute. And I just said, thank you, universe. If this is for my highest good and the highest good of all, thank you for showing me a way. And literally within 5 minutes, I received a message from a friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in ages, haven't seen, barely been in contact, messaged me to say, have you seen this thing about this writer's workshop Hay House are doing? Shall we go together and share the costs?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I was like, okay.
Sometimes you have to accept that it's your path and you just got to do it whether you want to or not.
Exactly. So so another layer of imposter syndrome out the way and dealt with. And so I'm going next Friday to Edinburgh to this writers' workshop where I'll be learning, how to market my book, how to write a book proposal, and make some connections, etc. But there will also be an opportunity to win a publishing contract with Hay House Publishing, which is, my absolute dream. It's not about me anymore. Yes, of course, it's my dream. I'm passionate about it, but now I'm writing the book and I've seen what I've seen, I know it's not my book. I know it's our book.
Mm.
Because yes, it can save one, maybe many lives, but it's also about reconnecting humanity with nature. And it is about helping humanity to, and people to see and respect nature as equal. And, you know, that we're here together, and that, you know, we've got to look after each other, whether we've got 2 legs, 4 legs, fur, feathers, scales, or, you know, whatever, that we are all equal and here together to help each other.
Mm.
So, yeah, so it's this beautiful kind of twofold message and story. So I'm going to go and pitch my book and, you know, get it out into as many hearts and hands as I possibly can, you know, and with the help of amazing, wonderful, talented, gorgeous people like you. And you know, personal thank you.
Well, when you first put it out here, not last week, maybe the week before last even.
Yeah, 2 weeks today. Yeah.
I checked your Instagram followers because you're trying to boost your whatever the word is, following, that's the word. In order to be taken more seriously by Hay House. And you know, they only are going to give you a publishing contract, you said, if you've got 5,000 followers, which is a huge number to have. And I was looking at your following, and it was something like 400, 500. I think it was about 450 maybe at the time when you started to do this. And I don't know if you've looked at your Instagram account recently and seen what your numbers are, but I was looking, and you're currently at 879 followers, so you've kind of doubled already.
Yeah, I think, bless you, I think at the time it was more like 840, so it's not.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I thought it was
love
like
it to have doubled, but no, it was about 840.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got the number wrong because I was thinking, wow, that's amazing. You've gone from 400 to 800. Okay. So that's all right. But
right.
Anyway, we need to get it to be increasing more in order for you to get.
Absolutely. But I would say to have an increase of 40, 50 followers in less than 2 weeks is huge.
It's huge
on Instagram. It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. So yeah, I personally would like to sort of help you to manifest that. So we'll put in the link of this, your Soulpreneurs Club and your Instagram, so that people can come and join. Can you explain a bit more about your Soulpreneurs Club as well, so that people understand what that is and what?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so in my Soulpreneurs Sanctuary Facebook group, there's 565 of us in there, I think, as of this morning. All amazing people, so men and women, predominantly women, but you know, men are welcome too. And it's about, you know, people in business, so you don't necessarily have to be running your own business.
Okay.
But predominantly that it is business owners, that's why it's called soulpreneurs, who are working with heart-centered business practices, who work with or are interested in working with the universe. So that's my Facebook group. And every Monday lunchtime, I go live in there and offer business guidance for the week, and kind of take a read on the energy and kind of share with what you might be feeling. Because what I've really noticed, and people message me quite a bit about this, is we all think we're the only ones feeling like we are. And if it's a bit difficult or a bit challenging, a bit low perhaps, we don't like to talk about it, or it's not that we don't like to talk about it, we feel like we're going to be a burden by sharing it with somebody else. And yet when we do share together, the support that comes flooding in is phenomenal. So it's almost like creating that safe space and permission to just show up and be yourself in however you know, that might appear, but it's also that place of celebrating, you know, and I really encourage that, you know, this is going to, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like this guidance came through that was amazing. It's like, this is going to be an amazing week for you guys. Celebrate it, you know, ride that wave. So yeah, we talk about emotions, and yeah, I talk about my spiritual school events that I run in there. So I teach about you know, spiritual practices and what might be able to help you in your life and your business.
And is that online?
Yeah, everything's online.
Right.
Everything's I do is online. And I also run a spiritual club online. So you come and spend an hour in a group of people. And I run it on a Monday evening at 7 or a Friday morning. So there's a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. where yeah, we just come together. I lead a guided meditation, and like tomorrow I'm going to be talking about Saturday's full moon and Mercury retrograde and what it means for you and your business and your work. And then I also provide an intuitive oracle reading as well for everybody. So it's just a chance for people to come together with like-minded people, chat about all things woo, chat about how you're feeling, talk about, you know, your experiences, and ask questions as well. So that's the premise of Soulpreneurs Sanctuary. And as well, which I know you've got already, Amanda, I'll drop a link or send the link to you. But the first chapter of my book is available.
Excellent.
To read. So it's probably about blog length, I'd say. So it's not a big meaty 200-page thing that you need loads of time for. It's a really beautiful story from a river and a rock about never giving up. And it's really beautiful, very encouraging. So yeah, and inspiring. Like every time I read it, I take something different from it. So that it's about 500 words, I think 600 words, something like that. So yeah, we'll share a link and you can download the chapter to read, and then you'll get to hear about all my news. So for example, what's happening at Hay House next weekend.
Exciting. So you're going to be how are you going to be doing that, putting that in your Soulpreneurs, or you know, update? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll try and do some lives from Edinburgh. Depends what the signal's like, but I'll try and do some lives from there as well, from the workshop, and who knows who you might see.
Fabulous. So as part of being in these chats, I ask people how they're feeling, and because for me, I have learned a lot through my own journey of not listening to how I'm feeling and getting very unwell as a result of not listening to how I'm feeling. And so my path now is to try and help others to connect in with how they're feeling and to be embrace whatever is here in this present moment. So I just wondered if you are happy to just connect in this moment, to sit and feel how you're feeling right now. And you can share that or not share that, but just to be able to come into that presence and awareness of what it is. And if you feel comfortable sharing, feel free. But if you don't, naturally keep that to yourself. But so if we just sort of take a breath and just connect in. And often I find when people connect in, they can feel things going on in their body that perhaps they might not have been aware of before. And maybe there are areas that are coming up for you, showing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you, because because I look at this so what, every day, multiple times throughout the day myself, you know, I have that ability to connect in really quickly. And I did, it's interesting actually, when we were talking about how you were feeling, my brain went tired, I just feel tired. And then when I connected in, I was like, oh, how nice. And actually that overriding feeling that I felt come up from my root chakra all the way up was gratitude. And
Beautiful.
I mean, just, oh, and then it just flows all the way through. And, you know, yes, physically I am tired. At the moment, it's towards the end of the week. It's been a busy few weeks with this book. But yeah, it's the gratitude. And I think overwhelmingly, it is the gratitude for my gifts, the ability to be able to do what I do, having shied away from it for so long and having kept it not hidden as such, but not taken it seriously, you know, just been quite dismissive of it. So huge gratitude that I'm able to do this. You know, it's when you do something that's easy for you, you don't necessarily, you can take it a bit for granted, can't you? And of course, gratitude for being here right now in this moment. You know, and for the huge love and support from you and from many other people who are so on board with our book, Nature's Wisdom. So yeah, gratitude, what a lovely feeling to have. Thanks.
Brilliant. I mean, I feel it all through my chest. Here is where I'm feeling this very kind of expansive sort of space opening up when I'm connecting into that, and it feels great. Yeah, I just wanted to, I almost want to say I don't need to wish you luck, because I can already see that this is I almost feel like you're going to get the contract in a way, and perhaps not in the way that you might expect to get it. And it may not be through this weekend, but it might be in another way that,
yeah,
you know,
I've seen something very similar. So yeah.
Oh,
goosebumps, Amanda.
Yeah, so I think there's because because I connected in very quickly with this, and I resonated with it, and I felt it. It felt like it's a, you know, when you're manifesting and you're manifesting and it's a done deal. That's what it is. It's a done deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know, and we're not taking anything for granted here, but just appreciating it. And but yeah, I mean, how brilliant. I love that you've got this deal. It may not be that as I say, it may not be in that weekend, but it is happening. And yeah, I'm just very excited for this and your success. And just I love to support people. I think I'm really passionate about supporting people. I've always been that way. And
I think we should give you some pom-poms. You need some art of healing
absolutely
pom-poms.
Absolutely.
You are like the world's biggest.
I'm all for cheerleading, definitely. So I'm not saying I wish you luck, because it's a given in my mind. But I hope the journey is beautiful and gives you everything that you wanted and more. And I feel quite emotional connecting in with it, because I can see, yes, it doesn't just give to you, it gives to others too. And when you're in alignment with something that does for both, then it is it's emotional. I can feel, you know, I want to have happy tears coming out now, because it's lovely. It's really lovely. So thank you for all the work that you're doing at the moment, and all the support that you give to other people. And wish you well. Thank you for coming on today. And please, I will, if you could just send me the links, I'll put them in on the comments, and we'll share this with you later. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Cheers.
Oh, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening.